Here are 3 forehand footwork patterns you can use to help you play better tennis when you get on the court. I'm going to be doing this in my driveway. You can even do this just shadow swinging. Now I've got the Topspin Pro to help me. If you would like to get your own, please use my link in the description. I'm also going to pin it in the first comment. So the first thing you always have to make sure of when you're shadow swinging or practicing is split stepping. So this isn't one of the 3 forehand footworks I'm going to teach you, but you've got to make sure that you're always split stepping, feet moving and split. You want to make that move not as you hit, but as your opponent hits. So the split step is always made when the ball is on the other side of the court. You're doing it when your opponent is hitting. And then when you land, you're so much faster in any direction you need to move. All right, footwork number 1, the Mogul stance when you're moving off to the right. Well, since I'm right-handed, when you're moving off to the side to hit a forehand. So I'm going to step over here. You're going to do this with always do a split step first. So you do a split step, and when the ball is hit hard to your right and you're running for it, the last step that you take should be the foot that's on the side of your body where you're running. So since I'm running to my right to demonstrate this, the last step I'm going to take is going to be with my right foot. So I run, last step I take is going to be with my right foot, and now as I hit the ball, I'm going to hop and move my feet under me. By doing that, it's going to help my lower body stay with my upper body. A lot of players, they try to run to the ball and they try to stop. If your lower body stops, as your upper body keeps going, you're going to fall off balance. That's why we need to have that mogul. It's kind of like a skier doing a mogul. You go into the open stance, your momentum is still pulling you off to the right, and as you hit, you move your feet under you. Then you can recover back to the center. So it's split. I step last with my right foot because that's on the side where I'm running. I keep my feet going so I keep my balance, then I can recover. So I'll do a couple mogul stance. Remember, if you don't have a Topspin Pro, you can do this just shadow swing. But if you have a Topspin Pro, then you can work on your topspin as you do this. In fact, I'm trying to keep the ball, you can see the ball spinning. I'm trying to keep the ball spinning the whole time. Right, last one, split, mogul. That's a really important footwork to use. Watch the pros. This is what they do all the time. You watch Nadal go out and hit a backhand. This is how he hits it. And everything I'm teaching you on the forehand here, I will make a video in the future on the backhand as well. But you can do this on the forehand, you can do this on the backhand. When you're moving hard to the side, you want to use a mogul stance. Go fast, step last with the outside foot, let your feet go under you, and then quickly recover to the center. Now the next footwork is when we are going forward. This is what I call the approach shot footwork. Similar to the mogul, the last step you take and put on the ground, the last foot you put on the ground, will be the foot that is on the side where you're making contact. Since I'm right-handed and I'm hitting on my right side, that means the last foot that hits the ground is going to be my right foot. So it looks like this. My opponent hits a drop shot or a short ball or a let cord, and I'm running forward and I'm going to hit an approach shot and go to the net. So as I'm going forward, I'm hitting on my right side. The last foot that hits the ground is going to be my right foot. Then I hit the ball and I keep going. You will not stop to hit this ball, but rather you will simply move through it. I'll do it a little faster. Right foot hit left foot. I'm hitting with the foot, or stepping with the foot last that is on that side. So go a little faster. Right hit left. Watch this one in slow motion. You'll see that my right foot hits the ground last, and then I hit the ball. This is a really important concept because if you're the type of person who every time you run forward, you always put your left foot, if you're hitting on the right side, you always put the opposite foot down, what ends up happening is you stop because you cannot, with physics, get your right arm and your right leg to step forward or go forward at the same time. Otherwise, we would run like this. Why do we run with our arms and legs opposite? Because every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So as you are going forward, if you step onto your left foot or your front foot on an approach shot, what ends up happening is you will swing your right arm or your hitting arm, and then this leg wants to go back. No different than when you're bowling or a slap shot in ice hockey and that foot wants to go back, so you won't be able to keep running. This is why players often struggle running through an approach shot. They run forward, step onto that front foot, they have to hit, be done, then they have to keep going. And it's all because they stepped with the opposite foot. They need to step with the foot that's on the side where they contact last. That's the last step. So you run, step last with the foot that's on that side, and then you'll continue running. So I'll hit a few here, going pretty fast. Split. You'll notice I'll be able to keep moving. Do one more. Split. So work on that. This separates your ability to close off the net and cover angle or get stuck in no man's land. So this footwork is so important. Please practice it. I'm doing this in my driveway. Do it with your Topspin Pro. If you don't have one, you can use my link or just do it with shadow swinging. Critical, and it's just as important as the Mogul stance going off to the side. So we've worked on moving to the side. We've worked on going forward. Now we're going to work on going backward. We have to remember that on a forehand, we're trying to turn the hips. When you hit the ball, we're trying to rotate the hips. When moving backward, this is actually when players have the most trouble rotating their hips. And if you just understand the simple footwork that's needed, you'll be able to turn easily. So when you are up near the baseline and the way the ball comes to you, it's pushing you back. And moving back is not a bad thing. You watch pros, they move back all the time. You don't want it, I don't mean by all the time. they move back often when they're playing. Moving back is not wrong, you just want to do it correctly, and then you don't lose any advantage. When you go backward to play a ball, and you're doing like a crossover, what you don't want to do is force your way back forward again. You want to embrace the fact that you're moving backward, and you are going to plant with the foot like closest to the camera or closest to the back fence. And then that is going to be your pivot foot. And you're going to go like this. Watch this again. The ball comes to you, you split, you're like, you know what? This ball's going to get to me up here. I'd rather move back and allow that ball to drop a little bit. So you figure, you know what? I'm just going to move back a little bit. You plant your back leg. And then you take your front foot, the foot that's closest to the net, and you put it behind you. But you don't do it by crossing in front. The cross in front is how you got there. But now you're going to take your front foot, the foot that's closest to the net, and you're going to move it back by pivoting on this back foot. So you can practice just this drill at first. Topspin Pro, I take my front foot and I move it back. I made a video, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago on Carlos Alcaraz hitting this exact footwork while moving back on one of Nadal's forehands when they were at Indian Wells practicing. And it was how to hit the ball correctly while moving backward. Really important that you turn your hips and you want to pivot on the back foot. So then you do it with your Topspin Pro like this. You split step, you do a drop step. Watch, you split step, you drop back, do a crossover, then plant your back foot and then put your front foot behind you. Then you come back forward again. Split, drop, cross over, and you make this move. There's a lot of talk in this idea that you always have to get your body weight going forward. You don't. You don't have to get your body weight always going forward. You always have to make sure that you can rotate your hips. Rotation of the hips is more important than the direction your weight is going. I mean, think about it. With the Mogul stance, our body weight was moving to the side. So when we go back, watch the pros, rarely are they getting their body weight just always going forward. But what they try to always do is rotate their hips. And so if your focus is going back and then trying to get your weight to go forward, you actually will not turn your hips as much as if you just embrace the fact that you're going backward and you take your front foot and put it behind you. Now again, to get one of these, use my link in the description. I absolutely love the Topspin Pro. The fact that you get to practice at home, have a ball to hit that doesn't go anywhere, and you can practice the spin, really, really important. Remember, use my link in the description and pinned in the first comment. And if you're looking for people in your local area to play matches against or practice with, or if you want to find a coach who's close to you who can help you with your game, then use my link in the description and pinned in the first comment, playyourcourt.com/2minutetennis. When you use my link to sign up, you get 50% off. Go out and practice the Mogul, going forward and using an approach shot footwork, moving back and using the back foot pivot in order to turn your hips when moving backward. And there's no doubt, you're going to gain confidence, win more matches, and play much better tennis. This is Ryan Reedy from 2minutetennis.net. You got this.